This time on Pole Barn Garage, the Eagle is ready for flight. Kind of. Welcome back, everybody, for another Eagle extravaganza. Today what we're doing is brakes and more brakes, because that is what this is lacking significantly. I haven't touched this car since you last seen it, other than I did throw a set of spark plugs in it. Turns out this is an 86 or 96 Jeep 4.0 engine. The 4.0 uses a different spark plug than the 4.2. The plugs that were in this car were for a 4.2. And what that means is the tip of them is projected out longer, which means they were probably detonating like hell, which it was doing when we were driving it around last time around the yard. So I haven't actually driven it yet, but it does seem to run a little bit better. So brakes, and more brakes, and then maybe we actually go drive the car on the street and see what happens. So here's what we've got for parts to work with today. So we got a master cylinder. Most of this stuff came from Rock Auto. The calipers were cheaper at O'Reilly, so I bought them there. But here's all rear brake stuff. A couple of wheel cylinders, new rubber hose, shoes, cheapest pads I could get. A couple more hoses for the front. One of those is blown. But where we're going to start is with the master cylinder. And hopefully I got... Oh, goodness. What is this? Chow mein? I tell you, for a Chinese master cylinder, this is a nice looking unit. Very quality, seems like. But looks like the right one. Brake lines go in the same side. And, you know, overall, just kind of give it a once over. It's a little bit different. Looks like it's a little bit fatter. Might be a problem as far as clearing that shock tower, but we'll see when we get there. And I always start at the top when it comes to brakes. Let's start here and then work our way down. Big knock for the Chinese master cylinder. It didn't come with any bench bleeding hardware. I guess they just want you to use these plugs that are in it. I don't know if those are going to hold pressure or not, but I guess we'll try it. Oh God, don't fall down there. And it should go without saying here, but number one priority here is don't break brake lines. That's the key here. I mean, anything goes except for breaking the brake lines. So that's where we're gonna start. There, got it. You know, I've kind of onced over the car. There's actually several new brake lines in it. Somebody's been here, so at least some of the work might be done for us. But if we've learned anything from the quality of the work that has been done to this car, it probably will all need redone. So, you know, I guess that anecdote means nothing. Cut the top out of the soda can here to try to catch the brake fluid as it falls out. I'm not trying to make a tremendous mess in here. Rare occurrence on the channel, I know, but I do really like this car. No. Here we go. Kind of interesting. This original master cylinder, or whatever it is, it's not in that bad a shape. There's a little bit of corrosion around the piston. This is salvageable. And the other thing is, it's aluminum. It's light as a feather. I mean, it don't weigh nothing. Kind of hate to get rid of that. I think I'll keep it around. It would need rebuilt, because I can see where fluid's been bypassing it into the booster. But I think this would be worth honing and rebuilding. It's kind of cool. You can polish that up, make it look, look like you got like a $200 master cylinder on something. This is going in storage. You guys might be shocked to learn that I do actually have a workbench with a nice bench vise that I've never used on the channel until now. Look how clean it is in here now. Mucho bettero. So basically what you want to do to bench bleed this way, and of course there's approximately 312 different ways to skin a cat, but this way is pretty surefire, and if you're on your own, I mean, this is the way to do it. Is that brake fluid new? It looks kind of milky. Oh well. You want to fill both reservoirs about halfway. What you do is just take a long screwdriver, slide it into the back of the master cylinder, and then start squeezing and pushing on it. you'll start to see bubbles pop out of it as it's pushing and forcing the air out of the cylinder. Once you get to the point where you're streaming fluid out the top like Niagara Falls, that's when you stop. A long time ago I made a couple of these little bleeder lines here for master cylinders, and I only have one that fits this. We can at least plug this up. I guess I'll just try to hold my finger on the other one and hope it doesn't blow out of there. You want to get this to where it's really hard. Your goal here is to get this to where it's really hard to push that screwdriver in there. A lot of times when you do brakes, that's where your bad pedal feel comes from, is it wasn't bench bled all the way, and it's nigh impossible to get all that air out once it's on the vehicle. Yeah, it's spluging everywhere. That should be good enough, or damn close to good enough. We got our new one just kind of hanging out here. We're going to go ahead and bolt it on. We're going to set the lines on it, and that's where we're going to stop for right now because we got a lot of other brake things to do. All right, let's see if we can get these wheels off quick, NASCAR style. What? Ah! Come on. No! Yeah. So the little girl's a little crustier than I thought originally. That's pretty bad, actually, considering as solid as the rest of the car is. That's not good. You know, the frame rail itself seems fine, so I don't think there's any big deal. What you really want to look for on these is around the steering box, and you can see that the rail is a little swollen right here. And the steering box bolts down right here, and they'll actually rot off of the car. But that's good enough for me. I think it'll be okay. Back here's less good. I probably will go back and fix that. Don't know if we'll do it today, but we got something similar here. Just some rot in the frame rail. And then it's pretty bad, don't get me wrong, but whole thing's swelled up, and what I'll probably end up doing is just cutting out a piece of plate and just welding a plate over it to reinforce it, and likewise maybe just the whole thing just plated in. I'll just leave it for now. Let's put the brakes on it. Nothing there is going to keep us from driving the car for now. It's just going to need addressed later on. Not totally familiar with what kind of brakes these are. Kind of weird. They got two Allen heads to remove them back here. A little spring clip to hold the pads in. I don't know. Never quite seen anything like that. That line is leaking still. I'm really hoping it's just the rubber side of it, but who knows. I like how you can see that there's a bracket here that this is attached to, but there's also a bracket here where it probably should go, and that's probably because this car could have had two different kinds of calipers depending on what month it was built. Try to get that brake line off of there. It's already pretty round, so let's just jump straight to vice grips. I'm just not really confident there. Oh, it's only like a foot long. If we gotta make one, it's no big deal. Oh, it just broke in half. Yep, that solves that problem. No big deal. Let's get this caliper off. Fender well exit header thing this thing's got going on. It's really something special, man. Never had a ball joint put in it. That's good. Non-greasable, so that's better. These clips, I don't know if you gotta remove these clips. Yeah, pretty typical, then just roll off. Somebody was living in there. They're still living in there, actually. See ya. The pads look like brand new. There's nothing wrong with those at all. Guess we'll put my new ones on just because we're on them. Definitely needs rotors. Definitely not getting rotors. How does this feel? Clicks like a mother. Excellent. I don't know how this works, so I'll probably just leave well enough alone. See ya. Clean up some of this and slam it back together. At least get the calipers hung on it, and then we'll worry about replacing this brake line. Brake clean is expensive, and it goes too quick. What I'll like to use instead is this super clean. And I'll just spray everything down. and then we'll just clean this up, spray this with a quick coat of black paint. I checked everything out. Everything checks out, boss. Looks good. Yep, can't you see it? It's brand new, don't it? Yes, sir. Send them down the road. Yep. There we go. Kind of do the butt floss method with this. Yeah. Get right behind there. Our new calipers from O'Reilly. They're like with this coating on them already, so they don't need painted. You know, I started knocking around on the frame rail here and realized that it's actually pretty solid. So I just sprayed her down with some Rust-Oleum, and we'll just, you know, adopt the out of sight, out of mind policy here. You know, just shoot some self-tappers into it. I mean, you know. This piece of Chevy truck hood is probably better than anything in it. Look at that. Excellent. Excellent work, Dalton, if I do say so myself. Anyway, I'm going to zip that on there, spray it, and we'll just forget about it. And if we want to come back and fix it later, we always can, but at least this is a little bit better. Watch close now. Wow, it's gone. And you know what, purists or perfectionists, give me a break. The car's worth about $3.50, okay? It'll be alright. Good enough for me, and I don't plan on selling it. This is called a banjo bolt. Why? I don't know, but it's got a hole in it, and it lets fluid pass through. Normally your front brake hoses are the same side to side. Well, in this case, they are not. They are very similar. Almost identical, except for the bracket down here. Now, which one is the right one? Well, I don't really know, because, well, it kind of just disintegrated. If it sits on like this, we need this to be able to bolt to the frame, and I think it goes the other way, so I think it goes like this. No, that's not right at all. But you know what? On this caliper, it actually says AMC on it. So I'm wondering if this is actually an AMC brake instead of using a Ford brake, or, you know, like they would normally do, using whatever they could find. Maybe they actually designed their own brake, maybe just for this car. I don't know. Because of the rally program it was in? I'm not sure. This all went together fairly smooth, other than this caliper is completely different than the other one. I was able to salvage this brake line. It came loose pretty easily, knock on wood. But one little tip I just wanted to show you real quick is when you're putting a rubber hose on a hard line, leave the rubber hose loose. It'll make your life a lot easier. Get them started, then you can bolt your rubber hose down with its bracket. Instead of trying to line up one, it's a lot easier to take both and line them both up together. There's probably some kind of BS symbolism there, but I'll avoid it. This side is pretty much ready to rock. Now, I did spend a few minutes trying to figure out just where the hell the junction block is on this thing, where the proportioning valve is, and it's on this side. It runs from the master cylinder all the way over here and then back to the driver's side, which is in fact a good thing. Because there's a lot more room over here than if they would have buried it under the master cylinder. So, you know, a little bit of foresight on AMC's part. Not a whole lot I don't like about these little cars, honestly. Can I tighten this down without snapping the brake line? Okay. And you know, I may go ahead and do the rear brakes and come back to that brake line. Because making that brake line will take as much time as doing everything on the back of the car, assuming we don't break all of those brake lines as well, which we probably will. There's a not small amount of spiders on here, or spider webs. Good thing it's not summertime, because that'd probably be like Black Widow City. See if we can knock these drums off. I'm sure they'll come right off. Wow, look at it. This car is so light, I can pick it up off of the jack stand. Oh, jack stand's not doing anything. Well, that's nice. You know, safety first and all that. These have definitely been done. The wheel cylinders look pretty new. Everything in here actually looks pretty new. It's just full of cobwebs. I'm pretty tempted to leave that alone. Let's knock the other side apart, see what it looks like. Yeah, same kind of deal. Newer wheel cylinder, new hardware. The shoes look fine. They're a little worn. Probably because they've been doing all the braking lately. I think we just leave these be if they'll bleed. And if they won't bleed, if the bleeders snap off, then, well, then obviously we got to dig in. Peel this rubber back and take a look. There's no corrosion pouring out of it. I mean, they're probably fine. So we're going to look at this rubber hose right here, and this comes from the main line all the way back and then splits it. And you know what? It doesn't look that bad. I mean, you want to flex them and just look for cracks and make sure it feels good and pliable. I don't see any reason to open this can of worms. As long as it bleeds, we run it. So I'm trying to figure out where the hell the driver's front brake comes from. Rather unusual looking proportioning valve here. There's a blank where the other front line would be, right? And so I was like, well, that's kind of strange. There's only 2 lines running to it, which are these out of the master cylinder, right? Well, what they did, and God bless AMC, is they put a T, there it is, you see it right there. That's out of the master cylinder, and then it continues on to the proportioning valve, but it tees off right there to the front brake, right there, without any proportioning. That is bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. They did what they had to do to save that 2 cents per car on running an extra 3 feet of brake line. That line is stuck tighter than a wagon in the mud there. There's 2 brackets holding these lines to the firewall, so I'm gonna loosen them off. Hopefully be able to pull all the lines up here where I can work on it a little better. The problem is with that T going in, it's so tight, I'm going to end up trashing 2 other lines to try to fix the one line that's actually broken. And see, this is what I mean by opening the can of worms that is a brake system. Don't do it if you don't have to. Well, I got her pulled up here. I had to cut the line with a pair of dikes. If you come around here, you can see she pokes out down here. There we go. It's not a long line. On the T right here, when I was trying to loosen this, I was bending this long line that snakes all the way down to the proportioning valve. So here's what we're going to do now is hopefully I can get a good grip on this with a pair of vice grips and then bust this fitting loose. Hopefully be safe. Then we'll put it all back on, and I'm probably just going to tuck this back down on the firewall and call it good. It doesn't have very flat fenders.
Yeah.
It's hard to use it as a workbench. Successfully got the fitting out. Just took a little bit of cussing and finagling. Yeah, we kind of made a mess out of these brake lines. You know, it's all finungled and jungle gym now, but whatever. I ended up finding a brake line that had the right fittings on it and was sort of the right length. But she's all assembled now and had them hit the brakes a few times. It doesn't seem to leak, so hey, I'll take it. It's free. Alright, we gotta rebuild these rear brakes real quick. Brand spanking new.
They look new.
They are new. We'll try to get some fluid here by pumping it up.
Okay.
And then we'll just thoroughly bleed them. I can't use a line wrench on these, so my go-to after that, there's not enough room to fit a thick wrench in here. So my go-to after that, use a 6-point socket. Instead, I wouldn't want to use a regular wrench on a brake bleeder. They round off pretty easy. Are you ready? Up.
Holding.
Fluid. Keep her down. Now I'll switch to a regular wrench so I can see what's going on. Now that we got it broke loose a couple of times, it'll probably be okay. What's weird is I can feel the brake working.
You can?
Yeah. It's just not putting out a lot of pressure. Alright, I'm gonna open it up and you push down and then...
Up, down.
Yep. Down.
Down.
Up.
Up.
The fluid looks like freaking coffee. Looks like my soda I'm drinking. I'm gonna at least go till it's clean. It's got okay pressure. Yeah, that's you know, not exactly what you want your fluid to look like there, I reckon. Let it drip a little bit, try to get this thing flushed out. I think it'll probably be just fine. Then we'll move on to the fronts. You like the T-handle?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Can't wait to get my Waylon Jennings cassette playing in that bad boy.
Oh, yeah. It does have a... Oh, yeah. That doesn't work.
I don't know. It might work. The radio works. Okay, now we move to the front. You ready?
Yep.
Good. Pump them. There. Whoa! Whoa! Whoa, Nelly! Okay. Pump. Go down.
Down.
Woo! Down.
Down.
Oh, fuck. Man, I ought to put a hose on that or something. Down.
Down.
Up.
Up.
Good lord. Okay, I think it's fine.
Oh, wow.
Jesus. Let's see what our pedal feels like. Oh, those are fine. That's exactly how it should be. I did notice one little thing here. See this? Front drive shaft?
Oh.
That probably needs to be addressed before we try to drive it. Just guessing.
No.
How did I not notice that is what I want to know. So we need to fix that. That can be tomorrow's job. It's missing one of the straps for the differential. Just for poops and giggles. Let's see if my new wheels and tires will fit. These are a bigger tire. These are a 235/75/15 as opposed to a 205/75/15. I got these, you might remember them if you watch all the videos on the channel like you should be doing. I put them on that green Mercury Grand Marquis, the Mercs. Well, the actual reason I bought them was for this car, and I hope they fit. I really do, because they're like a mud terrain. Oh, and I love it. I think we throw some spring spacers in the front. It needs new strut rod bushings and new shocks in the front. That'll probably get us where we need to be as far as height goes. What we're going to try to do is get this drive shaft either reinstalled or removed. Not really sure how it fell out because right now the front axle is completely disengaged. We got one cap still on the U-joint. This cap was still in there, was clamped in there. It's missing all the needle bearings now, naturally. And we're missing one strap. So we need a strap and two bolts because the bolts aren't there either, I don't think, unless they sheared off or something. No, they're just not there. And a cap that fits whatever the hell this is. And I don't have any idea. Kinda looks like a 1310, I don't know. I have some of those, so that's what we'll try first. Here's today's goal. We have brakes now. It runs. There's a lot of other things we need to take care of. But, just for now, baby steps. Put the drive shaft back in. I need to get groceries. We fix the drive shaft. Maybe we try to fix the transmission mount. And, you know, if we have time, we'll fix like when you're cranking the car, it only has 12 volts in run. It loses it while it's cranking. It's a pain in the ass. And the hatch won't open anymore for some reason. But those are all pretty minor things other than fix the drive shaft and the transmission mount. We got to go to the grocery store, okay?
We have nothing else to go to the grocery store.
If we don't fix this car, we will starve to death. Okay, we're digging in my pile of garbage here, and I managed to find a strap that's the right one, as well as two others. But now we just have to find two of these really fine thread bolts. So we got another cap on here. I think we got enough random hardware to slam it together, but this drive shaft has a slip yoke on it back here, and it's kind of short, so it doesn't really want to freely move out, so I'm just going to gently persuade it. Hopefully these random bolts and stuff I found. But hey, that saves me like... Oh wow, that's not right at all. Yes. The hammer fix all. It's gonna be a jury rig nightmare of epic proportions. You know that guy that, you know, puts things together with 14 different sized bolts and stacks lock washers up on things to space them. You know, whenever you buy a car like that, you just go, who would do this? It's me. I'm Guy. I got JD pulling the 4-wheel drive actuator housing off because somebody sent me an email. They were kind enough to tell me that you can lock these in all the time without hurting anything. So we might just take a peek in here and see what, I don't know, what we got to work with, right? A couple of these bolts are real bare to get to. I had to jump in. Getting them back in is going to be interesting.
Oh,
it may not get them. But there's just enough room. It's going to uke. It's uking.
It is?
It is currently uking. Oh! Ew. Oh, no. There's one of those. I really hope I didn't just make a huge mistake. So there, oh, I see, there's a slider in here. So here's our mechanism here. And I'm guessing that this little guy just probably slides over. I don't know, locks. Oh, there it goes. Like that, maybe? Because right now we have drive shaft turning. Oh yeah, she's locked. And then over like this is 2-wheel drive. This is what he's saying, is put a hose clamp here, I guess. This is a vacuum pod here, and so this would couple onto that gear thing, onto that slider thing. And then as you apply vacuum or whatever, this probably moves in and out. Well, but how do you put this back on if, you know?
If it was a clamp?
Right, I mean, won't it just dangle in there and run into things? Then what do you do with this? I guess you just take this off. I mean, just eliminate it.
Yeah.
Zzz. I don't want to do that. No, we could just put it right next to it, and then it... Well, that's how you do it right there. You don't need no stinking hose clamp. There, just like this. But what they want to do is put a clamp here to hold this over, right? Because that's disengaged, and that's engaged. Well, why wouldn't... I mean, maybe it's just because mine just happens to be frozen and stuck. But, why not just put this here, where it's not sitting on it, and then just bolt it on there? Won't that just force it to stay over? There, like that, right?
Yeah. And then it should be...
I bet you, if you go turn the drive shaft...
Yeah.
Here, I can reach it. Watch this front wheel. Yeah, look.
Yeah.
That would work fine. I like that. I like this better than putting a hose clamp in there.
You do?
Yeah, I mean, call me picky. I mean, I'm kind of a perfectionist sometimes, and I just think putting a hose clamp in there would be kind of hackery, you know? Okay, so the transmission mount in this thing is completely wasted, and it looks like an absolute nightmare to work on, so I'm gonna go ahead and repair it correctly. This is how you do it right here. This baby's rated for 1,000 pounds, or probably not, maybe like 500. It was literally made for this. It's got 2 holes to put hooks in, right on the transmission. I mean, come on, it doesn't get any better than this. Okay, see? Problem solved. Where did you find these? In the butter knife drawer?
No, I could go get more other ones.
What, more butter knives?
No, those are the only ones.
I don't think scissors work like this. We need to find a better wire for our coil. The one we got now only has power on run, so when you're cranking it, it won't fire until you let off the key, which is kind of bass-ackwards. So what we're going to do, I'm going to see if this terminal here on the solenoid has cranking voltage and ignition voltage. I think it does, but let's find out. I'm gonna disconnect the coil so it doesn't try to start on us. So now I want you to just turn the key on. 12 volts. All right, now crank. All right, that'll work. Simple as that. The hatch won't open, and on the SX4 Eagle, well, the only way to open the hatch is with this button, because it has a spoiler on it, and the spoiler covers up the lock cylinder, because AMC. Which is another reason I just love AMCs, actually. Like, legitimately, I love these cars. I was assuming I had maybe butchered some wiring or something, and that's why the hatch was no longer operational. So we're going to see if we have power going into our switch, and we don't. What we're going to do is just put power into the switch instead of trying to track this down. Mystery solved. See this red wire hanging out right here? Well, that was for the hatch. And whenever I was gently removing all of the wiring in the car, I must have missed it there. It just, you know, that goes inside the car somewhere. There we go. See, the good thing is, I'll just rewire the whole car if I have to. We got 12 volts to it now. We'll use our old ignition wire, or what I thought was an ignition wire. We'll butt these two together and we'll have a hatch that works.
Yeah. It works.
So I don't know if these are going to fit on the front with how sagged out everything is. And I'm going to get some spring spacers, but, well, that's part of our goal here, is to drive this to the grocery store and to a parts store to get spring spacers. And if we don't, we're going to lose the shop.
Looks so cool. Oh, yeah. That probably will be fine.
Yeah, actually, it might. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a new. Oh God.
Oh.
Yep. Guess I'll just stay here.
It looks so good.
We could trim the flares. Not bad.
Pretty bad. I mean, it's touching. We can trim that though.
Yeah, the fender's right behind it. I don't know.
This side rubs too.
On the back?
On the back.
Always gonna rub. That is tires off the ground and it's still hitting. So if we want to run these tires, we're gonna have to persuade it. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Oh, it's all rotted behind it anyway. Okay. Well, I feel less bad now. I think I need to cut this inside lip a little more. We can always come back and clean this ragged edge up. But
yeah.
I don't. Up here, I think is okay. You just got to get this to come out a little ways. All right, we'll get back with you here in a second, and when the butchery is complete. Oh my God. We're gonna expertly roll our fender lips here. So the butchering has commenced even further, and I think the biggest issue this side has is this flare is actually too far down. It's not underneath, it's trimmed over. It's a little bit better. Not great, mind you, but a little bit better. So we'll just go ahead and shoot a self-tapper into it. Said it wanted a little more off the top. think it ran out of gas. Not making it very far yet, are we? I think we're gonna starve to death.
That's really far.
First would be good. To the gas station.
Yeah.
I think some of that might be that. First time on the road in a long time. We have no gauges.
Like someone ripped out all the wires.
Oh, yeah, it's weird. Okay, well, I think first gear went AWOL, so that's cool. Yeah, that's third. Can I at least have second? No, I can't. What is that? What the hell is that? So there's a lever on the side of the transfer case down here, and it's disconnected and just flopping. And I tried to shove it into 4, and I'm wondering if it may be in a no man's land in between. Pouring oil out of it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that might be where some of it is as well. The clutch might be covered in oil from that rear main seal. I don't know. We'll see what that does. I mean, does it actually hold that much? That's a lot of gas. Look at that. It must have been totally empty. That might have been some of her problem. Like for real. Are you looking for love? We just have to accomplish our mission, which is go to the grocery store. Hey, that was the transfer case. Clutch is fine. God, it runs like shit. Think it'll do burnout?
Maybe.
No. Let me go ahead and take the keys out. I guess you don't put that much in it.
Yeah.
And there's also a growing puddle of oil too. So that's cool. But anyway, let me grab my keys.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Demonstrating the all-purpose capability of this rolling fire hazard. At least when it breaks down, we'll have food.
Yeah, lots of food.
And boom! Totally effective grocery getter. Out of our way, fools! Eagle coming through! It's just working fine. I think it's the lever on the side of the transfer case.
Oh, maybe clicking in and out?
Yeah, I think it might have disengaged. Because there's no rod on it to hold it there, you know? Just pull it, find a flat spot. And then crawl under it and mess with it.
Yeah.
That went in. I felt it thud. But it's... hopefully it doesn't pop back out again. Because that'd be no bueno. I don't think our ratchet strap actually does anything.
Yeah.
Like at all.
You're saying the performance upgrade doesn't do anything? It's just leaking everywhere.
It's just pouring. Yes. Whoa. Well, we've figured out what the problem was, why the car runs real bad. Once again, it kind of just falls on my being an idiot. See, on the cap here, see, I don't know nothing about Jeeps, so you guys gotta bear with me a little bit. So we got a numero uno right here, right? So numero uno goes one, what's cinco, and then trace. But see, trace is going to dos. And see, that right there is really gonna, like, not run very good. See, so, see, this is trace, right? See that? See that, JD?
Yeah.
So this was wired wrong the entire time I've owned the vehicle. And I never checked because I'm smart. Let's check the rest of them. I had to Google it to find out. So we're on trace, right? Mm-hmm. Trace. Next is 6. What is 6 in Spanish?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Anyway, siente. I don't know. And then 2. So I just had these 2 flipped. That's all it is. Not bad for running on 4 cylinders, I gotta say, right? I mean...
Yeah.
It ran really good. So we're going to go ahead and fix the rear main seal before we get her fired up. And this is going to work. It says, safe and easy to use, guaranteed. So it doesn't actually say it'll work. It just says it's safe and easy to use, guaranteed. We'll just fix that rear main right now. Oh, there it goes. See it? Hey, be quick. Be quick, you're gonna miss it. Dude, faster. Yeah, you missed it. It's fixed. Well, let's see what kind of action she's got. That's not neutral.
Should be fine.
Go ahead and check the timing on it. Try to. Probably something like that. We're in. I set the initial timing at 15 degrees. Total timing is about 30 degrees, which is pretty good. She sounds about 10,000 times better. It is noisy, but I don't think it's lower end. I think it's upper end, just by my super precision, you know, listen to things. You know what? I think we fill her up with some Lucas and, you know, just forget about it until it blows up, and then we'll put a motor in it.
Yeah.
But it runs so much better. So that's cool, actually. I mean, it runs pretty good. I wish it wasn't dark out. Thing don't have any headlights. That's kind of a problem. Because I was going to pull the valve cover off, but now, nah. Why bother? What are we going to do? Fix it? No. I was kind of messing with the headlights. Can't get anything out of these stupid LED conversion things. I don't really want to mess with them anyway. I just can't stand how they look, and they're... so we're just going to pitch all that and go back to some regular old seal beams, because they just look better and they work just fine. You don't need to blind everybody on the road, guys. It you know, courtesy. It used to be a thing. Just picked up my lift kit. Right there. Yeah. I'm gonna get all the mud crickets now. But these are his twist in. You load them up on your ratchet. And you just kind of, you know, stick them in to the coil. And then you just rotate them in. and break your ratchet in the process. Don't fix things, just do this. It's way better. They just don't make these things like they used to.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the problem is. It's not me. It's them. Now what I'm going to try to do is spin them around so they're opposite each other. And let's see what it looks like. Oh wow. That did a lot, actually.
Yeah.
That's freaking perfect, dude. What I'm going to do now is correctly repair the transfer case with baling wire. And what I need to do is there's a lever on the side of that transfer case, right? And we have nothing to actuate it. I mean, everything's missing. So, rather than like attempt to do anything about it, I'm just going to wire it solid into all-wheel drive, because this should be cool to run all-wheel drive. Or not, but anyway, that's what my goal here is. So all I'm going to do is just wire through the lever and tie it into whatever position it lands in, actually. And can always go back and do it better later. I'm thinking probably need to rig some kind of a I don't know, a shifter or something. Maybe we can rob one out of a Jeep or something. Mm-hmm. I don't think you could use a cable with this, because it actually needs to have constant pressure on that lever. If it doesn't have constant pressure on the lever, it's going to let it kind of creep out of position, and then you're going to be like we had yesterday. We were driving and it was kind of like halfway in neutral, sort of ish. So as you can see here, we've installed the baling wire in the correct position here, where it will slowly saw through the fuel lines and then result in our untimely deaths. And then it just kind of, routes up and into here and around in here and pulls backwards, locking it into either 2- or 4-wheel drive. I don't really know. You can see here where our tire was rubbing on the flare back here, and I'm just gonna try to pull it as far back as I can, and then I'll just shoot a self-tapper. Okay, well, we'll see you tomorrow when we take our first spin. We got like an hour of daylight, maybe, and so we're going to try to drive this thing around. But before we do that, it's been raining like crazy, and so we're going to install some wiper blades, which, I can rebuild an engine. Sometimes installing wiper blades just kicks my ass. Picked up the good stuff here, all right? I figured it was worth treating it, to the good stuff.
Yeah.
Shake it up. Yeah, that's gonna fix it. Mm-hmm. Probably fouled those 2 plugs that weren't firing.
Oh, yeah.
What is that noise?
I don't know.
I hope it's just upper end. We don't have any gauges, so kind of just flying blind. It won't let me back. too floppy. Look at all these normies in their normal cars.
Yeah.
What a bunch of losers. We need to find some like mud or something.
Like real mud.
Yeah, like flooded roads. Is it in 4-wheel drive?
Oh,
I don't know. I mean, it feels like it is, but the tires are also pretty good tires, so, you know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was handling pretty good on the
Oh, I know. I just don't know if we go and get ourselves into... If we go off and get ourselves into some mud, are we going to get back out?
Yeah.
She'll go through anything. I mean, like, it's like I'm driving on the freeway. It doesn't even care. I mean, we got to be doing 50.
I mean, this is pretty fast.
It's still alive.
It sounds really bad, though.
Why?
The ticking sounds.
Oh no! See, you fix that by doing this. Pro tips right here. There we go. I don't hear anything.
Yeah, me either.
What? Where to?
I don't know.
Is it worse?
I think it's
It
the
might
same.
be better. God.
I think it's the same.
It might just be the same. Well, let's go find some big puddles or something.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, there.
Huh.
Flood area ahead.
Good. Yeah, our ratchet strap worked.
Yeah, that didn't work at all. The hunt continues. Where the hell are we?
I don't know.
I'm lost. A puddle! Brace yourself. Whoa!
That was awesome.
So, thoughts thus far. The engine needs a lot of help. We need to probably at least run the valves on it. And it hasn't grenaded yet, so maybe just cam and lifters? I don't know. Second thought, this is bad. Third thought, front end, something in the front end's going ka-tunk, ka-tunk, ka-tunk. And that's not great, you know? So, other than that, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we went off-roading. I freaking love this car. I mean, it's so cool. Oh, it sounds awful.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm lost. Literally. Oh, shit. Is that a cop? I don't have tags or insurance. That's not a cop, is it?
I don't know. Maybe like.
It looks like he's busy. Let's just wait. Wait. We can take the back way. Should we take the back way home?
Yeah.
First gear, car. She wants to live. Roadrunner doesn't want to live. It hates me. This car, I saved her from a scrapyard, and it's paying me back little by little. I mean, it obviously it's not great, but it is trying, and that's worth something. Is that just water on the exhaust, or is it like coolant? It's not coming out of the overflow, so.
It's literally where the exhaust ends here.
Okay. Oh, that's probably what it is then. I'll take that.
I thought the car was going to catch on fire.
I thought so too. It made it back. We drove it for what? Like, how long? Maybe about 45 minutes. More than that, actually. 50. 50 minutes. That's not bad for a car that just came out of the scrapyard.
Yeah.
I like it. She's a... Oh my god. Cop would have never been able to read the tags anyway.
Yeah.
Look at this side. Splattered. Cool. Alright, well, we'll see you guys next time on Pole Barn Garage. Keep your eye out for more Eagle and that D100 pickup, the 4-wheel drive van. I mean, we got just stuff just pouring on all over the place. Alright, so make sure you check it out. And we'll see you guys next time.